morning, viewers. Welcome to our What's New series. In this series, we bring you up and close with famous industry personalities from various industries in the LND space, where we talk about the burning topics, the topics which interest the youth, the topic which would ensure that people are looking forward to know more about those topics. So today we bring you a topic on communities of practice. Our topic is how do we build and sustain successful communities of practice? And to talk more with me on this topic, we have Mr. Surya Prakash Mohapatra. He is a dedicated spiritualist and the India head for a famous multinational company. Welcome, Surya.
Thank you.
And to begin with, Surya, I think our viewers and me, all of us would like to know, you right now currently are leading one of the most successful communities of practice on the most successful social media network, which is Facebook, which is the LND Forum, which has more than, I think, about 15,000 members. So can you take us through the journey?
Yes, actually 18,000 plus members now.
Okay.
It has been an interesting journey. We started about 3 years ago, and we started with a handful of people, LND professionals, who wanted to come together and use this forum to share best practices and learn from each other. It started as a very small initiative, has grown phenomenally, and a small rock has become a big mountain today, with thousands of people participating in this forum. A lot of evolution that we have seen over the years, and we have learned a lot in the process as well. And this community is growing, it is co-creating, people are collaborating with each other, they're sharing best practices, they're building artifacts and new knowledge. It's really making waves today.
Great. 18,000 members. That is a lot. So it took about 3 years or
Yes,
4
it
years?
took about three and a half years to get
3.5 years,
to that
18,000
point.
members.
And it's still growing as we speak. Yes.
Absolutely, I think it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in the LND space specifically.
Absolutely, yes.
So, 3 years, starting from one member, reaching to 18,000 members. I'm sure you must have had your own set of challenges and your own set of roadblocks where you would have thought, okay, now let me give up, or what's the point, or like every successful business or every successful industry would go through that phase. So if you can just sum it up for our viewers, your top 3 challenges that you faced in these three and a half years, or from your journey to 0 to 18,000 members, that'll be great.
Well, the first challenge was to kind of bring it from just a handful of members to 1,000 members. That was the hardest part. One, we reached 1,000, from there reaching 5,000, 10,000, and then 18,000 was pretty, it happened naturally. So that was the biggest challenge, to bring people to that community. And when we were successful in bringing people to that community, the next challenge was how to get them to engage with each other, how to share their best practices, their learnings, etc. That was the biggest challenge. And I think at the initial phase, the focus was on getting people to talk and then share their ideas, etc., before we even started focusing on the quality of conversations. But that happened over time, when people started seeing the value of being in a community and value of collaboration. When they started realizing the power of collaboration, they were very spontaneous and natural in kind of participating in the community activities. So I think these were the challenges, to kind of getting people to be part of the forum, and then getting them to kind of engage in a qualitative conversation and discussion.
Okay. But you very well, of course, come across all the challenges. That's the reason that you're standing here with 18,000 plus members.
Yes, we had our learnings, we made our mistakes. I think in the process, I have learned today how you can successfully create, nurture, and sustain a community. I think each one of them is important. Creating a community with the right charter, the right structure is important. Once you create it, community requires a lot of nurturing. And once it's nurtured and then kind of it's standing on its own legs, then making sure that it kind of evolves and then becomes a self-sustained community. I think we have our learnings, and then this would help us kind of create similar communities which can create value for the industry, for the community, for the society.
Great, great. And this would also be your advice to the people who are looking to start their own communities of practice, or people who have probably, I'm an avid food blogger, but I see a lot of people don't participate, then I feel like, okay, let me give up. So there are more people like me probably who have started such communities of practice but have given up, or people who probably would want to start a new communities of practice. So what would be your advice for such people?
Well, there are certain fundamental truths that all of us need to keep in mind. The first thing is community is like a park, and whenever there's a park, you see there are many people go there, and some of them go there to kind of just be there and enjoy the beauty of the park, the ambience of the park. Grandparents bring the children, or parents bring the children to the park where they can play and their parents can watch them. There are those gardeners who come to kind of beautify the plant, water the plants and trees in the park. There are also those vendors, the small-time vendors who probably come there. In India, probably you're familiar with those vendors who come and sell peanuts and then other stuff in the park. So there are different kind of people that come to a park. Similarly, the community will find different kind of people. In the park, there are only a few people who come to beautify the park, the gardeners or the caretakers of the park. Similarly, in a community, there will be only a few people who will come to nourish, to build, to kind of nurture the park and then help it grow. There are many will come to kind of just be there to kind of watch and listen to what people are talking about. They may not be active contributors. Many will just come there as pedestrians or the roadside folks who are just there to watch what's happening inside there. So a community champion will have to keep in mind that only a few active people will contribute to the success and evolution of the community, and your effort of course should be to increase the number of those champions over time, but never give up if you find that only a few people are participating, because there are only a few gardeners who beautify the plant, the rest come to kind of enjoy the park. Similarly, there will be only very few active contributors, but while only few contribute to the park, but many kind of enjoy the benefits. Similarly, while only a few people contribute actively to the community activities, there are many who take benefit from those activities.
Very well put. I think very well put, Surya, for explaining it so beautifully and in such layman terms that everybody can understand. I think that was very well put. So, Surya, a birdie tells us that, and not many people know this, by the way, that when people probably did not know even the meaning of the word collaboration, you were the early mover. You set up a quality circle right there back in the 90s when there was nothing. So you have seen those days of collaboration. You are right now in the in-thing of WhatsApp and LinkedIn's and the Facebooks. So the question that I have for you is, how do you think our children are going to collaborate? What do you think the COP world would look like 15 years from now?
Well, I think that's an interesting question. So I started, as you mentioned, Quality Circle in Bhubaneswar, a small town in the eastern part of India, and where Quality Circle was not a known thing at that point in time. Of course, in industries and manufacturing setups, Quality Circles used to be there. But I started Quality Circle among a group of students. I mean, I was a student myself at that point in time, and then we started this community for exchange of ideas. And many of these members of this community who are part of that Quality Circle in Bhubaneswar are in well-established positions in the industry and in the society today. So that shows how a community can effectively contribute. How are our children going to collaborate? There are interesting things which are emerging. I think technology is going to be a big contributor. In our days, we did not have a quality circle or collaboration was face to face inside a room. People are coming together and then they were exchanging ideas. But today there are virtual communities, global communities spread across the globe, people with varied interests. They come and form communities, and many of the community members even haven't seen each other. So I think technology has played a big role. It will continue to play a big role in future. I think what's important is the convergence of platforms, and then people need to be able to participate, access community activities, collaborate with each other on the go. When they're moving, when they're traveling, they can still collaborate, they can still share a document, ask a question to an expert and wait for a response, and then engage with each other, share a picture and things like that. So these things will continue to happen and evolve. I think today people can access the same community across platforms. You can access this on your laptop, on your computer, on your smartphone, and new technologies are emerging. There's Google Glass, there is I think Apple is coming up with some iWatch, and then a lot of things. I think technology is evolving. But having said that, the fundamental principles will not change, because community is all about people and human beings. And technology is successful only which makes us more human.
Absolutely.
So any technology which takes the human aspect away from us, that's not a good technology. So I'm not too hung up with technology. I believe the fundamental principles would remain the same. People have an inherent need and urge to connect with each other, and we're all human beings, we're social beings, and that need will continue to remain. While our children will kind of collaborate on different platforms, and they'll probably will be faster, they'll be quicker, but the fundamental principles will remain the same. There has to be shared need, and there has to be active engagement, there has to be collaboration and co-creation. If these fundamentals remain consistent, I think I don't see any challenge. These communities will evolve and then become more effective over time.
Great. Thank you so much for providing us your points, Surya. And I think you said a very, very intelligent thing about technology just being an enabler. In the end, it is all about people and how people collaborate with each other, whether it is in a classroom or whether it's through Facebook, or if tomorrow it happens through Google Glass. Thank you so much, Surya. Thank you so much, Surya, for providing us your time and giving us your insight.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Surya. So we were in conversation with Mr. Surya Prakash Mohapatra for the What's New series. We encourage all you viewers to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more such videos and get some more insights on various industry topics. This is Prashant Kakkar signing off with Creative Director Hanumant. Have a good day ahead.